Hello, Cancer, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. I'm getting over a summer cold, so please excuse my voice a little bit today. I'm getting over some laryngitis with it. I love summer colds. So much fun to be fevery and in the heat, and just lovely. So anyway, just to let you know that's why my voice sounds like it does today. So I'm trying to push through. I am feeling better. Anyway, this will be your weekly reading, Cancer, for the week of August 16th through the 22nd. And during that time, we first have the waxing crescent moon, and that's a time of heightened senses when we're buckling down and starting those projects that we either started on the new moon or we're thinking about starting and getting those things going, right? Getting the wheel turning on those things. So it's a good time to plan and start things. It's also good just living up to your expectations and your intentions, and the energy is good for that this week. We then have our first interrupter of the cycle here, which is the first quarter moon. And it's kind of like the same energy as a full moon. It's just smaller. It's like, or less time really, like a couple of hours, maybe on the 20th or the day where you feel impulsive and patient. It's hard to get things done. But that's, if you know that's coming, it's a good time to learn to be in control and to dominate those impulses, or also to plan just a lighter day for yourself on the 20th. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Cancer. So, as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't here on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is to hold your vision. All right, that's a rare card to come out. I honestly don't see that card a whole lot in these readings, even though it's in that deck. So, very interesting. All right, Cancer, as I'm shuffling the tarot this week, I do need your help on something. I am thinking about doing the occasional live stream, just little free tarot readings that I'll do, maybe one or two cards. You guys could, will be able to ask questions and do a little readings. So I'm going to do that maybe in a couple of months when the weather isn't as great outside as it is now. So all I'm asking of you is if you could let me know that a day of the week that you might be more interested in participating in a live stream, and also what is your time zone? So and maybe recommend a time for me, so I can just get a little consensus of all of you that are listening to my readings on when you might want to join me for a live. So please just drop that in the comments, and that would be very helpful, and I do appreciate that in advance. So thank you so much for doing that. Oh, and I hear my kitty. Hold on just a second. Yeah. Hi, Maria. Come here. So sorry. The cat. If I shut the door to come in and do tarot readings, the cat can't find me. And he's very concerned that I've left him forever, apparently. So he's an older cat and he's a little confused. So he's like, where is everybody? Where did everybody go? But I'm right here, kitty. Where did you go? Oh, well, okay. He's probably behind me there. Anyway, we'll have the kitty join us. Let's get into this reading, Cancer. August 16th through the 22nd. Hold your vision. And your overall present energy right now is the Six of Wands there. So it looks like, this is a card of kind of being, getting an attaboy, patted on the back a little bit, but, some recognition either from, friends, family, people you work with, whatever. There's somewhere where you're kind of being celebrated a little. It's not a huge celebration. It's like a little victory along the way, and people are kind of noticing, someone might notice that and give you a little attaboy. It just makes you feel good to get a little bit of recognition there. Your current situation is the Wheel of Fortune. So, the Wheel of Fortune is about evolving. It's about, life changing. So it could be that this one little congratulatory moment just puts you in a positive mindset, and it turns you in a way that's a little bit more positive. So, it's about new opportunities that might come about. It's about being ready for opportunities when they come to you. But it is just about, I always think the wheel in the sky keeps turning. I don't know where I'll be tomorrow. That song lyric comes to mind every time I see this card, because you really don't. Things could change on a dime. And you could be in a totally different place tomorrow, mindset, or just physically. You might just be where you didn't think you would be. So you've got maybe some of that coming up in your life this week. So pay attention and look for that. At the root of your situation, Cancer, is the Eight of Pentacles. So you're also hard at work at something. And I call this the being in the moment card. So it's hard at work, but it's good work. It's the kind of work where, you feel like you're engaged. And, if we tap this guy if we call this guy's name, he probably wouldn't look up because he's just so into what he's doing. So that's really good. That's the root of this, is being in the moment and really accomplishing things that are fun and enjoyable for you to accomplish. In your recent past, here is the Six of Swords, which is about moving calmly into your future with new thoughts, new ideas. These, the swords represent air energy, new communications. So I love all of that coming in. We also, that puts two sixes on the table. So look up angel number 66 and see if that has any bearing on your situation this week. All right, what is on your mind this week is the moon card. So, while all of this is going on, you're also going to be following your intuition and maybe even dreams that you've had. The moon is about things that come to us in the night or in some mysterious way. And so, yeah, it could be a message that you get in your dream. For some reason, I'm seeing the word deja vu is coming through also. There might be some deja vu moment where you're like, wait, I've been here before. And that's very interesting. Don't we all wonder what deja vu actually is? But those sorts of things, synchronicities, big, again, different things that come to you in material, how a book just lands in your hands that you need. And you're like, how did that even get here? But just where the universe does work in mysterious ways. What is just ahead of you this week is the Four of Pentacles. So as you're going through whatever this is, it doesn't seem major. It seems like this is just kind of how your week is going. A little bit of congratulations for maybe a job well done. Wheel of Fortune means things are kind of turning in a good positive way for you. The moon card, you're paying attention to those things, and you're doing all of this while just being very stable. There's a stability about life. There's no major arcana. Well, we have the Wheel of Fortune, but um, I would have to see 3 or 4 major arcana pop out to see that this is a major week for you. And for you, it's kind of like just kind of a normal week. And what are you doing? Holding your vision. This could be some vision that you've come up with in the past, some goal you're trying to get your hard at work at, but just kind of maintain and stay the course. In your advice position here is the Two of Pentacles. So while you're very stable, you're also, the advice is to give everything a little bit of energy. This would be kind of balancing that home life, work life, passion life, the things that are going on. So make sure you're just trying to balance those things out so that they don't get too wonky. Sometimes this can feel like a card of overwhelm, but the fact that it's in your advice position just tells me that you need to continue the stability and continue balancing things the way you've been, because it is working for you at the moment. So continue that. What is beyond your control this week is the Hermit card. So you're going to spend a little bit of time maybe thinking about your next step. Again, you're engaged in this thing. It doesn't look like it's a major change. You're kind of just staying the course here, holding your vision, but you might start to be thinking about, when this wraps up, what will be your next move. And that's maybe where this Hermit card comes in. And it could be about something other area entirely. Where here it seems like we're maybe involved with work and pentacles, that sort of thing. You may also be looking forward with this hermit card to something that's, something enjoyable, something, a vacation or something that you're thinking about, but you're going to do some inner thought about, what is your next move on maybe some different area of your life there. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid, is the Hangman, which is about having a new perspective. So I hope that's your secret desire and you're not trying to avoid having a new perspective, because sometimes that new perspective comes with that Wheel of Fortune. Your life changes, just something positive happens and you're like, oh, I didn't even know that was an option. Let's run with that for a little bit. So that could be what this Hermit card is also thinking about as well, is going in to think about something. New perspective is when you learn something new or new information is revealed to you, that you get this new perspective. So whatever that might be, it might send you into a little bit of deep thought. But ask yourself, is it your secret desire to have a new fresh perspective, or are you trying to avoid that? And of course, there's no right or wrong answer. You just need to understand your answer and understand the why behind your answer. What is in your outcome position here, Cancer, is the Seven of Cups, which is about having a lot of different choices. So yeah, we started off with 2 sixes there. So the 7 is, then the outcome is that you have some choices to make. But I always say that when you have choice, that's a luxury. Some people are very limited into what choices they can make. And And that is not as much fun as having a plethora there of choices. So 7 different choices. Make sure you just choose wisely for your bigger picture. Again, you've got some kind of vision that you're holding on to, so you want to stay the course and make the correct decisions for whatever it is that you're trying to achieve there. What is hidden from you here at the bottom of the deck is the Fool card with a new journey. So yeah, this isn't anything new. This is something that you've been on. um, Again, it's just kind of a week that where you're just trying to stay the course and hold your vision. Not boring, but just, and there's some new things that are coming about, but it's not like you're changing course or making huge decisions this week. All right, let's see what the Soul Oracle deck says for you, Cancer. Soul Oracle deck for Cancer this week. And the card that you get says to embrace your power. And that could just be the power of accomplishment. It's the power of getting things done. Could also be the power of listening to the universe and paying attention to those signs and symbols that are moving you in the right direction. You know, those different synchronistic things, dreams, intuitions, things that are coming through for you that do make sense, and I think they are very powerful tools to have in your toolbox. All right, let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care. Self-care for Cancer this week. And the card that you get is the card called Peace. Just because some people are fueled by drama doesn't mean you have to attend the performance. Make your life a drama-free zone. And you know, there's not a whole lot of other people in this reading. I see here that maybe moving into your future, maybe you're thinking about your immediate family, the things closest to you, but I don't see a lot of drama. And I do feel like you're kind of staying in the drama-free zone, and you are kind of peaceful this week. And I really like that. So Cancer, thank you so much for being here. I do hope there's something in this reading that you can take away and use in a positive way in your life. It does seem like just a quiet, peaceful week for you, and sometimes that's awesome. Make sure that you do pay attention to that first quarter day on the 20th. That if you're feeling a little impulsive, maybe just take a lighter day that day, and maybe that's your day to do some hermit mode. Get out, go for a walk in nature. Just get in your own head for a little bit, and then back to work the next day. So again, thank you so much for being here. If you are comfortable sharing, drop me a comment down below. Let me know if anything here resonated, or if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer those for you as well. And if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe is so helpful to me. So thank you so much for doing that. I do appreciate it. And Cancer, good luck with this. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.